And that access to WASH is essential for health, for education, gender equality and development. They emphasize that the rights of vulnerable people have to be respected and fulfilled, in particular women and girls, youth, indigenous people, people with disabilities, and refugees and the internally displaced. And it is so important that we include all of these voices when discussing water security. The speakers reinforced the central message that the WASH sector urgently needs better political leadership and government systems, as well as smart financing. That development partners and stakeholders expressed their readiness to collaborate with governments. And this includes reinforcing links with other sectors, most obviously health and education, and to ensure that solutions safeguard the natural environment. There were calls to dramatically increase funding, including climate finance, and to make the best use of these resources. We also heard calls to invest in people and institutions to ensure that we have a capable and motivated WASH sector workforce. And we recognize that data and evidence are critical to good decision making and accountability. And finally, there were calls to encourage and support innovation and experimentation. And as we take forward these recommendations, we should build upon what is already there and working well. For example, Sanitation and Water for All's unique accountability platform that enables stakeholders to come together to frame, present, and track commitments, as well as the Fair Water Footprints initiative that brings stakeholders together to improve water stewardship and ensure equity and sustainability, plus emerging coalitions for systems strengthening involving governments and their development partners. Now, whilst these and other initiatives will help drive forward the Water Action Agenda well beyond this conference, we still need to go much further and ensure accountability for all in delivering a step change in performance. So I urge you, Secretary General, to heed the urgent call from civil society in their open letter for greater accountability, rigor, ambition in the outcomes of the United Nations 2023 Water Conference. If we're to make the most of this landmark opportunity and secure a more just, resilient, and sustainable water future, then we must all step up. And the UK stands ready to work with others to help take these commitments forward. Thank you so much.
And events, the election of the two presidents and other officers, and the programme of work. Chapter 2 will be finalised to reflect information on the statements made by all representatives speaking during the general debate. It will include also a summary of the statements made at the plenary meetings. Chapter 3 will be final dialogues. It will include a summary of each of the dialogues. Chapter 4 will reflect information on the consideration of the report of the Credentials Committee. Chapter 5 will be finalised to reflect the summary of the discussions of the conference presented today. Chapters 6 and 7 will reflect the proceedings of this meeting in relation to the adoption of the report of the conference and the closure of the conference. A list of documents before the conference will be incorporated as an annex to the final report. Presidents, that concludes my introduction of the report. I have the honour of commending the draft report for consideration by the conference, to seek the authorization of the conference to finalise the report after its closure with the support of the Secretariat. Thank you.
Indicate that the conference wishes to adopt the draft report and authorize the Rapporteur General to finalize this report in conformity with the practice of the United Nations. I hear no objection. It is so decided. The conference has thus concluded its consideration on agenda item 11.
Have brought the world together around solving the water challenge and reinforcing international collaboration for this vital resource. And I thank all those who contributed their ideas to this conference and to the creation of the Water Action Agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, now is the time to act. Thank you.
I thank the Secretary General of the United Nations.
अब आज समाप्ति हो गई यूएन कॉन्फ्रेंस की और छोटा सा ड्राफ्ट मेमोरेंडम बना के हम लोगों ने भी सबमिट किया है। और आप देख सकते हो किस तरह से यहाँ पर बंदूकधारियाँ भी होकर इस तरह से इतना बंदोबस्त है यहाँ पर।
Youth and also women.
Okay.
So I'm the regional coordinator of Water and Climate Network of Youth of.
Okay. I'm getting. ये कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी का लाइब्रेरी है, आप देख सकते हो किस तरीके की अरेंजमेंट है यहाँ पर। साइंस एंड इंजीनियरिंग की लाइब्रेरी है। यहाँ पर सेकेंड इवेंट अभी हुआ है, साइड इवेंट साइड इवेंट। Columbia Student Unions. Association available.
Experienced.
Okay.
So I was able to pull together a team that all really believes.
So only
in this
because
kind
you
of
were
stuff.
interested, so that's why you made it.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
so nice.
Exactly.
So without any professional education in that or anything,
Yeah.
just out of interest that you have made it. Very
Exactly.
nice. Very nice.
How
It's
long
very
did the
creative.
video making take?
How
long
much
did
time
the
you
whole
took to
process?
make it?
We filmed it in 2019, and we weren't done till 2020, or no, 2022. So, but it wasn't contiguous that whole time. It was kind of like with the wrong editor. I had a couple of trial and error people that I worked with.
Okay.
So how much time you
once
took
I
to
got the
research?
right people, it was probably 6 months.
Yeah, but then
Was that
research
COVID?
work?
Yeah, sure.
You must have done research for all these findings, no information.
Yeah.
Unless you compile it.
Within that 6 months, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had some other in the team to do the research work?
Yeah. Someone who helped write the story.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the guy who edited it as well.
Who?
Raleigh Latham.
Okay,
is his
okay.
name, one of
Okay.
our team members.
Okay.
Was the COVID, like, did the pandemic hinder your progress in making the
No, and in fact, in the long run, it very much helped us because we planned to do one big long film that we would release at film festivals that would include many different stories. And then with all the film festivals going virtual, we thought, why even bother? And we ended up splitting it into several short films,
Oh, right.
which we're still releasing some of.
So you waited for this UN conference to release this, or
No,
how was it?
it's been released for almost a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. But because it's only in the community, we can keep applying to film festivals.
Okay.
Once it's on YouTube, they won't accept it anymore.
Acha.
But
Okay.
because it's not publicly available, even though it's freely available, it's not. You have to actually join the community. So
Okay.
film festivals still accept it.
This is also part of CUNY? Sorry, about Columbia?
Columbia, yeah.
What is that building?
Library.
Okay.
This is a low library, which is no longer a library, but like a
Okay.
place to host events.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, we're
Very big.
like in the city, and it doesn't really feel like we're in the sky.
Very big university. All engineering, medical, everything in the same campus, or how is it?
Medical is on a different campus. Like it's close by, but it's on a different campus.
Okay.
Engineering is here, yes.
Okay.
Law is also here.
Okay.
That building is the law building on your left.
Okay.
The glass,
Okay.
glass building.
Okay.
Yep. The School of Public Health. Okay. Except for Berkeley's like on the ground, right? Berkeley's on the ground, right?
You can actually go from here.
Okay.
Aren't those streets? Yeah. They put earth on top of it. Yeah. I think so. Are there buildings underneath us? Are there buildings underneath us? 'Cause
We're on the third or fourth floor, right? No, so now we are on campus level.
Ground
So
floor.
Broadway, like the street over there, that's Broadway.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
we
now
are back on the ground.
Now we're back.
Okay.
So this is the entry. Actual entry is this.
Sorry.
Actual entry for the university is this one.
Actual entry, yeah, you can say this one. There's
Okay.
also there are multiple
Many.
entries,
Okay, many
like
entries.
along the Broadway
Okay.
street as well. There are different
Okay.
entries. That's also.
Brief, tell us, as you're part of the study, your journey, and your work in the field, what were the findings as well as ultimately in the recommendations or the suggestions when you put that report your teacher had put? So what was the actual findings and the reportings?
Yeah, so the findings were that, so like as he was saying, a lot of the farmers who weren't even interested in extremism or joining any of these extremist groups, by survival, they had to join because like groups such as like Boko Haram or ISIS, they would use water sources as a lure for people to join their groups because they knew that they were desperate to get water.
So this was like from only that your objective of the study was to look at is
the object of the study was just to identify the problem because people didn't even
basically
put those
from the
linkages
angle of water
together.
war.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the object of the study. The recommendations were mostly policy level, but the purpose of the book was not to find necessarily like strong solutions to the problem. Rather, it was to
identify
the problem.
situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Current status sort of.
Yeah, because like before that, people, I don't think anyone has ever really put together the connections between water weaponization with extremist groups and like climate change and drought. So that was the like overarching objective of the study.
So basically, in the case study, you took one or two countries, or how did you do that?
We took Nigeria, Iraq, and I'm not remembering the other one. But Nigeria and Iraq were the main two case studies.
But you mentioned about China, so that's why I was thinking.
Yeah,
that
so China was a different thing altogether. That wasn't part of the book. But my professor, he was just researching like the water conflict between like I think it was the Mekong River in China and how like conflict upstream and downstream was happening. But that wasn't related to the water weaponization.
So every time you all are doing the study, that you are producing some sort of publication material also, like a book writing out of it. It's a project based learning. Right?
Yeah.
Every time you have done the education, it's a project based learning.
Right.
So how do you feel that that is giving much of the edge over than the classroom teaching learning?
Because you're actually able to apply what you've learned into action. You know, I think that's what incentivizes people to do things at the end of the day.
So after doing these particular studies and all, it's only the degree which comes, or even the experience certificate or something of that sort?
Yeah, the experience is honestly more than the degree.
Yeah. So, but that is in the formal manner. They give some document.
So, I mean, I'm acknowledged in the book. Like my name is in the book.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's that, and then.
So, name in the book means it's as a co-editor, or how is it put?
It's as not as a co-author, but in like the acknowledgements.
Okay.
My
In
name
the
is there.
acknowledgement
Yeah.
they mention.
Yeah.
Your whatever the service you had provided for.
I've, like from the book, I've helped the professor write some news articles about the book, and so with that, I'm a co-author.
Okay, so articles and all also.
Yeah.
In what all form that such publications are done, and how do you feel that percolates to the general public and all, and how is the response about that?
To make the book more accessible, we've converted it into several articles for different like quasi-academic magazines. So
you all are encouraged to do publications and articles.
Yeah.
So nice. At a very from the first year level only, these all begins, or how is it?
This happened after my second year.
Second.
Yeah. I think the first year I didn't really even know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So.
So how is the credit then given for this? How is the evaluation
For articles?
method? Yeah.
For articles, I was a co-author.
No, the credit system which is there for your evaluation.
Okay. So I was a research assistant, and I was given credit for being a research assistant.
Research assistant you all are given that time?
Yeah.
So nice, very nice, very nice.
Just tell me something, what is your study about weaponization in Iraq?
Iraq? Yeah, so it was the same case in Iraq. So there was like either tactical weaponization or strategic weaponization. Tactical or strategic weaponization. So a lot of the
at the government level or
no,
at
with ISIS.
Pardon?
With ISIS.
Which?
ISIS.
What is it? Full
The
form?
Islamic State.
Acha.
Yeah. So like
ISIS?
Nice.
ISIS.
Full abbreviation of that full form is. some Islamic
Okay.
center or something.
That terrorist group.
What is that?
Yeah,
Islamic
the terrorist group.
State of Iraq and the 11. Okay.
What is state? What's that?
11.
It's the extremist group.
Islamic State of Iraq and Levant. Okay. ISIL.
Yeah, it's either ISIS or IL. ISIL. Yeah. But so a lot of instances were that this group would strategically put poisonous substances in a city's water source in order to cause scarcity.
What did they do?
They put like hazardous waste or material in the water source.
My God.
Yeah, in order to like eradicate a city or to create scarcity
My God.
Where is it?
in Iraq.
Iraq.
So in a water body in some dam.
Yeah.
In some dam.
In either that or like a point source, like in the river.
Oh God.
Oh.
So
Scary.
that was So that was like a strategic weaponization piece.
And that's being kind of supported by the government there.
No. It's not supported by the government.
It's a illegal way.
Yeah,
they
so
must-
that's the one way that they weaponized water to achieve their goals.
To introduce toxic chemicals in there.
And what about Nigeria, you said, no? Other one?
So in Nigeria, the main thing was like they would use water as an incentive. So because there's already a huge drought going on with the farmers in Nigeria, so they would use water source as an incentive to join Boko Haram.
To join
Join?
Boko Haram.
Yeah.
To join?
Boko Haram.
Boko Haram.
I don't know much about it, but
Can you explain a little bit about Boko Haram?
It's an Islamic extremist group in Nigeria. I don't know much about it either. Out of the context.
So
of,
how do they, attract them through this means?
by giving incentivizing
by
the water.
inciting them with water, because all of the
Pani
crops
do.
are
So
पानी
why
मिलेगा
is it?
यहाँ।
नहीं मतलब because of the scarcity and then they give this water, so they are getting attracted.
Yeah. Because it's out of desperation.
So about ISIL, then is there no government intervention to protect the citizens?
So I mean, this is already happening in states that are like considered failed states, where the government is already weak. That's how these extremist groups are even coming about in the first place, because they know that the government can't really intervene.
When you say this,
Yeah, so like in Nigeria, Boko Haram has used water to kind of get people to convert. Same in Iraq. So there are some case studies that I've done, and I've helped author a book called Water Weaponization. I can send you the link.
which one?
It's called Water Weaponization. I can send you the link.
Water weaponization. Oh, so nice. Yeah. What is the mode of this kind of education which is imparted to you? How did you conduct these kind of studies? Like,
So
how is the
I-
procedure? How do you?
Yeah, so I basically just talked to my professors at GW, asking them if they had any research going on. And since I'm interested in environmental justice and water specifically, I just sought out those opportunities throughout my undergraduate.
So from which year onwards this kind of flexibility is given to you to go to the field or do study from the secondary data or something like
Honestly,
that?
like after my first year, I had so much flexibility and opportunity to do all of this.
So you all are allowed to explore, go and
Yeah.
funded also accordingly.
Yeah. It's funded. They give you funding through the university.
Okay. So you had been to China and Iraq and all whenever you
No,
have
no,
tried to do the study of conflict?
So all that
No.
research was online.
Online?
Yeah.
Okay. So you could interact with the faculty, students there or how was it?
Interact with people who are on the ground there.
Okay.
And then the professor, so I worked with a professor who's writing the book, and I helped the professor
Okay,
with
okay,
the
compilation of all
compiling
the
the data. But he has a lot of contacts in Iraq and China and Nigeria.
So that's how you got to connect to the
Yeah, exactly.
ground level people.
Yeah.
Ground zero.
Yeah.
Okay. So nice. You have got exposure to
Interesting, yeah.
this. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Conflicts are going to increase.
Yeah.
And any solutions?
So water
inside
weapon.
that?
That is very nice.
Any solutions that come out of that kind of a problem?
Well,
researching?
most of them are policy level.
Yeah. But then, what is it that emerges as solutions to these vexed issues? they're pretty complicated
They're
things.
complicated. There's no
Yeah.
real like one and done solution.
So, is there a possibility, water conflicts do take place just because there is shortage of water, isn't it? And that's why they are able to
Or the
weaponize it.
misallocation of water.
Misallocation, or but basically
Yeah, basic water.
basic, there is a water stress
Yeah,
situation,
exactly.
and only then there is a rationing kind of a
Right,
thing,
right,
or kind of allocation,
Yeah.
in limited,
Yeah.
so that they are not able to even have drinking water.
Right.
So is there exploration of the solutions out of the box, in the sense like if rainwater harvesting and all that is done by the communities, and then if the water is available in sufficient quantity, when the storages take place, automatically that can happen as a neutralizer for these kind of conflicts.
Yeah.
So this is what Dr. Rajen Singh ji, he has experimented in the
Rajasthan
area. What he did is, about Chambal. Chambal is an area, your parents would be knowing, if he grew up,
Yeah.
if they have been in India for
Yeah.
some time,
Yeah.
then they must be, our generation has grown up seeing the documentaries about the bandits in Chambal. So that is a bandit infested area. Okay, and
Which state?
it's Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, and this area, okay. Rajasthan, part of Rajasthan, part of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh.
Best in the world. Are कुछ photos लो भैया. Take some pictures please. For my sake. Photos. Photos. Yeah.
My organization that I'm representing here is called Alexis Foundation. We are a youth-led think tank in India.
Okay, so that's what it was, excitement for me to a question, Now we have all come here for the UN conference which is happening for the first time for the water. And we all have assembled, and we have in fact done a lot of investment to come here so that we can learn something. Do you feel that this kind of places give some solutions, or we can find something in such places, because there are several such organizations who conduct such kind of a program. Now this is happening for the first time by UN, a water conference. So what do you feel? How can you be enriched, or you will get benefited by this kind of?
I think first of all, we have to look at this as a platform for collaboration and connection, rather than only focus on action. Because I think the action will only come if we meet people with similar interests and similar goals. And I believe that humans have the power to come together and do better things in this world. So
But I'm talking about more about the youth. Because
yes,
today
so I think
focus is also youth.
if I just give you my perspective, I met a lot of youth from various countries, including African countries, Middle Eastern, as well as North American and South American.
So do you see any hope that all the youngsters, if they come together?
I am very, very hopeful that we will be able to do a lot of things together. And,
what is the way? What is the way? Because today morning, let me share one thing, that one of the friend in our group also is Mr. Ethan, who is from California. He was having a question that whether this kind of meetings will help in any way, that because he has a Owen River which is there in California, that river is, that water is taken to Los Angeles, and the people, native Indians or native people, those who are there in California, they are deprived of the water. So he was asking that how are we going to be supported in the sense, you youngsters, when you come for this kind of an activities and all, you require certain funds to run your this kind of programs, and to do all kinds of activities. So how are you going to make it with that?
Well, I don't know the specific context of the person or the event that you told me
It's in
about.
general, in India also same thing youngsters ask.
But for similar things, I believe that eventually these are platforms for awareness. Like now, you told me about that. A lot of people will know about it, so I'm sure that they will go back home with a newer perspective and they'll probably take
So you youth will have to come up with this model also of the project kind of thing where you can be funded and well supported so that you can come up with a lot of solutions.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Because I saw that most of them doing projects, research taking in this area, and then that is how they're getting funded and they're able to help in this kind of, or help themselves to get the solutions, because I can understand you people being the youth and you want to do a lot. You have a lot of enthusiasm, energy, interest and all. Only thing is if you get a proper kind of facilitation of the services, funds and all, that you all can do wonderful things. So that was my concern. My concern was that.
Yes.
So if you all can collaborate and with each other's support, also a lot can be achieved. I think you are a Bengali.
Yes, I am.
I'm also Bengali.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's how I think we have a lot of energy to do the things. And all the best for this particular forum where you all are working together for such a good cause. And God bless you all that you all are into.
Thank you, and I wish everyone who is listening in all the best as well.